Hotspur, you guys are so lucky because you're tuning in for a Manchester United live without knowing what happened against Tottenham Hotspur, but that's okay. There's a lot that's happened ever since our defeat against Tottenham Hotspur, and that's what today is all about, right? There's been a lot of talk around Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. And to all you people joining in, a very good evening, man. It's good to see all of you all once again. I'm just gonna, just give me a second, guys. I'm just gonna sort of join the chat on my laptop as well so I can read all your comments. Otherwise it gets a little difficult to read everyone's comments on the phone itself. This way, you know, it gives me a chance to sort of catch a lot more comments that are coming in. Fantastic, guys. 40 people already, and clearly everyone's in the mood for a live tonight. So let's get this going. As always, you know the drill. It's going to be super interactive. I want to be talking to as many of you all as possible because you know what? Let's forget about the disappointment from the last 2 weeks. Let's forget about it. Let's get into the weekend mode. Let's get into Newcastle away, what used to be St. James Park, which used to be a cracking fixture. Give me a thumbs up if you remember Wayne Rooney's screamer against Newcastle United. That's the kind of mood I want everyone in. We're going to win this game, right? This is going to be, like the title suggests, this is going to be Ole's redemption. Now, a lot of y'all have been talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know the fan base is split to a large extent because some of y'all want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the club. Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all believe in him, like myself. I personally believe in the man. I think he's the man for the future. There are going to be a few blips. I think something that he said in his press conference really sort of made me think, and I hope I can tell all of you all this as well. Bruno Fernandes has only lost 2 Premier League games since joining Manchester United. Just 2 United. He's just lost 2 Premier League games, guys. Just reflect on that. And we've already played 3 games this season, or 4 games this season. Bruno Fernandes has only lost 2 Premier League games, guys. That is incredible. He joined us in January. Do you remember January? Pre-COVID. Do you remember what pre-COVID used to be like 7 years ago, or what it feels like? That's how long it's been since we've lost 2 Premier League home games. So you know what? This is our manager. This is the future. He is going to do wonders for us. He didn't get the transfer market that he wanted. He didn't get the support that he wanted from the board or the owners. So the least that he deserves is the support of the fans, guys. Let's at least, as the fans, give Ole the support that he deserves. Come on. That's the very least that we can do. All right. Couple of shout outs to all of y'all. Wow, a lot of you regulars in here. Good to see all of y'all. Atharva Joshi, yes, Paul Pogba's contract extension has been triggered. I think a large part of what he said against Real Madrid has also come from there. And I think now we know something for sure, right? There's a lot of shit that goes on in the press. There's a lot of shit that goes on in the media. Guys, please remember, at the end of the day, Manchester United, without Manchester United, there is no British press. There is no football without Man United. So people are going to constantly talk about the club. People are going to constantly bash our club. They're going to say shit about the club because that's all that British football has, right? They only have us to talk about. So don't believe too much into the fighting and all of that that's happening. I think we are a united squad. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is at the wheel. We play Newcastle away tomorrow. 3 points is in the bag. Before I bring my first speaker on today, a couple of things, couple of reminders. One, for those of you sending me video requests, please remember that because now we put these videos up on YouTube and the channel and all of us seem to be getting some traction on the World Wide Web. If your internet isn't good, if you're struggling for audio or video issues, please don't send me a request, because if I do accept you and you have video issues, then I'll have to disconnect, and I would hate to have you come on board and then disconnect because of poor connectivity. So do yourself and the chat a favor and let's do that. Al-Shaf says, I like the shirt. Buddy, we've been using this shirt since lockdown, man. It's been 6 months. Is this the first time you're seeing this, Al-Shaf? If you are, I'm glad you like it. Help us out, guys. We, as part of the MUSCM working team, we're trying to make things better for y'all. Would you guys want to buy MUSCM merch? Would you be interested in picking up stuff like this? You know, give us a thumbs up. We'll explore that. I'll seriously explore that, because I know where I got this made. It's not very expensive, and I'm happy to give this to all of y'all, man. I'd love for all of y'all to get a copy. Maybe not MUSCM live, because that's for me, but you know, I'm happy to get these things across to y'all as well. Right. First up, we're going to be reacting to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference. Archit, good to see you, man. I thought you never come for these lives. I thought you were too big for these lives. Aryan Singh, if you're watching, Aryan, I have accepted your request with much aplomb and glee. So Aryan, I'm going to wait for you to connect and let's get chatting, man. Let's get chatting about this
Hi,
And Aryan, how you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm fine.
Aryan, we can't see you. We need to be able to see you properly.
Oh, sorry, 1 second, please. Can you see me
You
now?
got to be ready, bro. You got to be ready. You're on MUSCM live. Okay, now you're in. Now you're Teda. Just keep it, make it straight.
Okay, that's fine, right?
All right, Aryan, welcome to MUSCM live, man. Tell me about yourself, buddy. You seem rather young. How old are you? What do you do, and why do
Yeah,
you support United?
I'm 14 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been supporting United since the last season of Sir Alex Ferguson. So,
That means you were
I,
7 when you started supporting us. Guys, give him a thumbs up on the screw thumbs up. Give him a fire emoji on the chat for following United since he was 7 years old. Go on, buddy. Go on.
I love United.
Uh huh.
And sometimes like I have a real passion for the club. So like
Hmm.
when they lose, I become very cranky, and when they win, I'm like in like I'm very happy when they win. It's like I'm super excited when they win. But in the recent games, the crankiness has been a bit high.
No, I totally feel you, man. So tell me, what, according to you, are the biggest changes, man, since Alex Ferguson left?
Oh, the biggest changes are probably the failure to to manage the club. Like the managers have not been that great. Like Louis Van Gaal and even David Moyes was not that good. But like some and like first of all the transfers also have been decent. If I'm to say something, like
Okay.
we got like some decent transfers. So basically, like Sir Alex Ferguson was a legendary manager. Like
Absolutely, man.
nobody can compete with him. But at least
Yeah.
expected like to be a like at least half his level if anyone was to coach United. So
Yep.
that's
Yep. Yep.
basically
Yep.
the main changes I
Fair
feel.
enough, dude. Tell me something. You're a 14-year-old. You must be having friends who also watch football, right?
Yeah, I have friends who watch football.
Who do they support, man? Your age, the friends your age. Who
Uh,
do they support? Because I feel you're still an outlier to a large extent, man. Because, people your
some
age don't support United anymore.
yeah. I have a friend who supports United still.
Okay?
That's only one, but others have been supporting mainly Messi and Ronaldo. You know where that mind goes basically.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
Barca
Your
and
generation has
Juventus,
been that.
and some
True.
people have been like first Madrid. Uh,
I think Aryan's bedtime, so we're gonna. Oh my God, he had to quit. Damn, but guys, that was Aryan.
A young fan, and so good to see young fans, right? Sometimes I feel we are the last generation of United fans, given the way that this club has been performing. Right, I'm going to bring on my next speaker. Let's get straight into the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference. I'm just going to give you a few highlights from it, right? What are we going to be talking about? The first thing we're going to be talking about is Maguire. I think Harry Maguire was something he addressed very, very beautifully, right? I think the whole issue around Maguire, I personally don't think Maguire should be starting, not because he deserves a break, but because just the way he's played and the way he's been, I don't think he's good enough to start this game. I think we should try Lindelof and Bailly. As much as I hate to say Lindelof, but maybe it's the one combination that might work, right? We've tried everything. We've tried Maguire, Bailly, Maguire, Lindelof.
It doesn't work. Maybe we should try Lindelof, Bailly, and
See how it goes. All right. Let's bring on some other people now. All right, Sumit Miralu. Sumit, after you, I don't know if Karan Rateria is watching, my co-host, once upon a time, and we used to do this together. Karan, if you're watching, please keep that request going, man. We're going to bring you back. We'd love to have you from the US joining us as well.
um, hey Sumit, how you doing, man?
Good, I'm good, man. It's all over MUFC.
Fantastic. Arre, kya baat hai. Is this your first time on MESCM Live? I think it is.
Yeah, I've just not joined. I've seen the president resign
Yeah.
because of some Twitter spat, and I've just joined, and I've really liked it. When Mumbai has our Red Army. So I just joined. I
De-
really like your channel.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for the love, and we love you too, man. It's good to always connect with new United fans. So, Sumit,
Yeah,
let's get talking, man. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had a press conference earlier today. I thought it was a very interesting one.
yeah.
You've obviously gotten a chance to watch his press conference, right? Let's talk about the Harry Maguire situation, man. Do you think well, two things. Do you think A, he will start, and B, do you think he deserves to start?
See, first of all, whatever he has been through in the Greece and whatever the case is on right now,
Yeah.
I there's a mentality issue going on in his head, and because of that he's not able to perform even for the national side. You know, he got
Yeah.
racked up red cards, and he's not performing at all. So for me personally, I think he
Hmm.
should rest for Newcastle because we already have big games coming. But on the other hand, if you'll see, Manchester center back, but Ole has brought in.
Sumit, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Guys, just let me know, am I getting an audio issue with Sumit or is it Sumit? Because his voice is breaking on my phone. But go on, Sumit.
Yeah, yeah. Are you able to hear me now?
Much better, much better. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a phone issue. So see, what I was telling you is there is a mentality issue. And there is something with Harry Maguire right now. So he's not able to perform. You know. So
Hmm,
for
hmm,
me
hmm.
personally, if the guy is not up to it and he's not giving 100% or he won't be able to give 100% to the team, I think we should give him a rest for a match or two. You know,
Okay,
and
fair enough.
this will send out the statement in the dressing room also
But
that
bro,
he's
I'll just
he's the
put you.
captain of Man United
But Sumit, I'll
and
just put
if
out the counter to all of this, man, and it's something that scares me, right? And it's worth discussing. And chat, let us know what you all think. If we don't play Harry Maguire, who is the captain of Manchester United, then there are more problems than one, right? One, the British press and the media is going to go, and a lot of fans are going to go crazy. Arey,
I
isko
know.
drop kar raha hai kya? He can't be captain. How can he be captain? He can't be captain. Isko matlab game nahi khila rahe, so he can't be captain. Two, two defenders who we've complained. Now it's a shame that we've also complained. We're also complaining about Harry Maguire, but two defenders we've complained
Exactly.
all season are Bai and Lindelof, man. So you're actually saying we go away to Newcastle,
But
who are in form.
I want exactly. But I want Ole to change his formation. Okay. Don't go his regular 4-4-2. Just change the
Three five
formation.
two Diamond.
Maybe see what I'm thinking is like if he's backing Harry Maguire to play tomorrow, then
Hmm.
my predicted lineup will be De Gea will be like the goalkeeper because you cannot drop him because I mean even we
Yeah,
lost
yeah,
6-1,
yeah,
but उसका इतना गलती नहीं था as like defender was all over the place. Okay, De Gea को
yeah,
ज़्यादा
yeah,
नहीं कर सकता, so it's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we can give him a chance. Even though Henderson is doing good on the other cup matches, I'll
Sure.
go with De Gea. Then four. If we want to play Diamond 4, then Fred at the centre back. CDM,
Yeah.
Pogba and Bruno and Van der Beek. I'll play in the cam position or on the right position so that he can run through defenders and
Ah,
it will
interesting.
also give Rashford and Greenwood a good opportunity to like tap in ke liye bhi he can move. Like Van der Beek has got legs, man. He can run all long.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad, Sumit, you brought up Marcus Rashford. Let's talk about Marcus Rashford, and then I'll let you go. I want to know your thoughts, man. So obviously, congratulations, Marcus Rashford, from everyone, not just me,
Yeah,
not just Sumit, but everyone from the chat. Congratulations on the MBE. I think it's the least that he deserves because, dude, he's been doing great service, right? Irrespective of who the service is to, service to mankind is fantastic. And as a footballer, using his privilege and his position, very well done. But speaking of Marcus Rashford, the footballer, the number 10 for Manchester United, there is a problem, Sumit. There is a problem, right? Some people say कि यार back injury हुआ था, उसकी वजह से ठीक नहीं खेल रहा है. Some people are saying maybe he's not the left winger we think he is. Maybe he is a number 9. And there are some people who are saying he's just horribly out of form. What, according to you, is the problem, and what
so
is the fix, man? What is the fix?
yeah. So tomorrow he will get an opportunity to play at number 9, right? He will play as a striker tomorrow because we don't have Marshall. Like Cavani is not ready because of that COVID issue.
Ighalo?
Igalo, I don't think so because no man, it's still Premier League and still he's not ready for that. I think cup matches के लिए Mata and Igalo is good, but
ठीक
for
है.
me Rashford and Greenwood should play because Rashford has already played in the England match in the Nations League, so I think
Hmm.
he is grooming up, and I understand that a lot of things is going on in his mind also because he's out of his form, but maybe इवन आप गेम खेल के ही आपका फॉर्म आता है आप बेंच पे बैठ के ट्रेनिंग करके फॉर्म से नहीं आता आपका तो यू हैव टू प्ले गेम्स सेम गोज विद मैगवायर थिंग बट आई स्टिल फॉर मी
Hmm, hmm,
मैगवायर
hmm.
rested and he should be ready for PSG game because that is also one of the important matches.
Oh, definitely, man. And PSG is a team that we have had some interesting fixtures with in the recent past. So we will talk about that and more. Sumit, this was your first time on NESM Live. I hope you enjoyed it, man. And it was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, thanks a lot.
So keep watching, man, and I'll bring you on next time as well. Thanks so much. There's a lot more to talk about, so I'm going to bring on my next speaker as well. So guys, that was Sumit, a first timer who is here because of.
As you guys know, the ex-president of MUSC, and Sunil Thakur. For those of you who are still sleeping in that lovely sort of shade in that deserted island close to Hawaii, it's gone absolutely viral. It did go viral the first time he did it. So to give credit to Sunil, it was always viral. But now even the British tabloids are picking it up. So including India. So CNBC, Network 18 picked it up. Adam McCullough addressed it on his channel as well today. So do watch that video. It was really, really cool. Right. Let's bring on the next person. By the way, Sumit said some interesting stuff, man. Let me just, can one of you all take notes for me? Actually, I don't need to take notes, man. I need to remember who all have come so that I can tag them later. So Aryan came.
Sumit came, right. Guys, so the next
Talk about, man. He says Rashford should be playing in a number 9. Okay, how many of y'all agree with that? How many of y'all think Rashford should be playing at number 9? Give me a thumbs up. Let's continue that conversation with the next caller. Hopefully Karn is here. I see a request from Karn. Let me check. No, I don't see a request from
Karn. Okay, so let's see. We've got Pushkar Ganu. Good to see you, buddy. We've got a lot of people out here. Let me just read some of the comments coming in and then we'll figure out. Karan, if you're watching, love to bring you on, man. It would be awesome. Akshit says no. Singer Singh says no. Manan Baga, good to see you, buddy. Atharva, no. Guys, so if Rashford doesn't play in the number 9, then who plays from the number 9, man? Like you're saying Ighalo plays and Rashford continues on the left, Greenwood plays on the right, or do you say Greenwood takes the number 9? Rashford continues on the left, you play Dan James on the right, because remember, Edison Cavani is not available for this game. All right. Okay. Karan is here via Football Pundits. All right. Good to have you, buddy. I keep forgetting that he's adding me on from Football Pundits. But hopefully he's going to join soon. We'll just wait for Karan to come on, guys. Till then, let me read some comments.
Hello.
Stratford, wait.
Can you
Karan is here! I can see you.
What
Oh
up?
my
It's been
God.
so long. Hello, guys. Hello.
Karan, just take it away, man. I can. Man. I just want to continue addressing this thing of going into Newcastle, right? If there's something else you want to talk about before that, feel free to talk about that. But what, according to you, should be our starting lineup against Newcastle, man? Because a lot of people are saying Diamond, play 5 at the back, play Teres, play Aaron Wan-Bissaka, play Luke Shaw as the third centre back. What do you make of all of that?
So for me, the new signing, like Telles, is a bit, I think, touch and go, because I think even Solskjaer mentioned he's just flown back from Brazil after a couple of games, come in late. Let's see how he gels in with the squad. So I'm not too sure about the Telles debate. I personally think that this is Rashford's opportunity. We're just discussing it, right? So I think this is Rashford's opportunity to pick up the mantle. You're asking, what does it take?
Karan, I am so sorry to cut you, man. I'm so sorry to cut you. Guys, in the chat, please let me know. Karan is completely frozen on my screen, but his audio is crystal clear. It might be an issue with my phone. Please let me know if it's an issue with my phone or Karan's. Go on, Karan.
Whoops. Okay. I mean, as long as audio is going out, I guess they can hear my voice. Both of us apparently look similar anyway. So,
Karan's mother says I'm the more handsome version of him, but go on. Yeah.
Sure. I think, as you said, right, tomorrow is the chance for Rashford to sort of take it up and then prove to all of us, that, hey, you give me the chance and I will get those goals. He scored a fantastic goal against Brighton, right? I mean, that was an amazing goal that shows the sort of quality he has. And when he does have the confidence to take players on, he can do that. So I'm hoping, Rashford is given that opportunity tomorrow, and I think he will. How we're going to line up, I mean, anybody's guess, especially because we need a reaction, we need to save players, we need to keep in mind the games coming up and all of that stuff. But, I think I'm not going to try and get into too much about, exact formations and stuff. For me, I sort of want to mention a bit about the fans in general now, right? Like now, I sort of said that, especially this season, for me, it starts once the transfer window is done. Especially because all the drama that led up to it and lockdown and this and that, blah, blah. Now we know this is the team and we know the challenges ahead. So this point onwards, I don't think we have any excuses. Right now, for me especially, I'm someone who keeps backing the manager so much, but now, Ole knows now this is a squad and this is what he has to deal with. Now he needs to go there and get the job
No,
done with what he has. Right?
Karan, expectations also should. Are you still holding him with the same expectations that you did with the assumptions that he'd get
No.
the signings that he wanted, or how had that
No.
changed?
No, of course that does change. I mean, of course now I do sort of know that, title challenge may not be as realistic this season. If we did get the signings that we wanted to, I would have probably said, hey, you know what, let's push till at least late in the season for a title challenge. Now I am sort of being a little more realistic about it. But, in terms of what we expect, we can't know, now this is the team we have. We can't go in 2 weeks saying, hey, we probably need to strengthen this or strengthen that area. Like we saw what Mourinho had become in the third season, right? He'd be going to games, still just moaning about it, saying, oh, my players aren't enough. I need this, I need that. Now, this is the squad we have,
Okay.
and we sort of perform with this squad, is sort of what I'm saying. But even as fans,
What are Ole's targets according to you then this season? What according to you would ensure that Ole keeps his job? While being realistic, of course, because we all know if he wins the title, he'll definitely keep his job. So what according to you ensures that he keeps his job and keeps the fans happy?
Top
Given everything.
three, I think a top three with the squad we have needs to be done because he finished third last season.
Karan, but he got the
squad
signings he
was-
wanted last season, Karan. He got the signings he wanted last season. He got the summer that he wanted.
I completely agree. See, but at the end of the day, I mean, he did it sort of with a much more mediocre squad, considering that Bruno only came in, say, Jan, right? We kept saying that if Bruno came in the summer, we would have finished probably
We'd be-
better, or we wouldn't have been in this position, or whatever, blah blah blah. Right.
True,
So having
true.
considered all of that, I think he needs to sort of now this squad, and when I'm saying Ole, I don't just mean the manager, right? I'm the first one who'll back him till the end. I mean, now the squad needs to buckle down as well, right? Now the players need to buckle down and be like, hey, you know what? This is a challenge that we have. Clearly, even top three as a United fan isn't good enough. But the players need to
Yeah.
sort of step up to that. And along with all of them, I think even the fans need to step up. I think we need to keep now back our players. I think what's happened is because there's no fans in the stadium, there's the only fan chatter you can hear is Twitter, right? I mean, primarily on a big sense for the players. And all of it is just negative, man. Like it's only
Yeah,
negative,
man.
dialogue, and it's only like it's so disheartening. And it's just so disheartening. Which is one of the
You
things
said
I
it.
say as fans that the season has started for us now, right? Even as fans, there's no excuse. You know what? Now just go, like just back the players. If I put out this tweet earlier today, and I strongly believe it. I was thinking about this from yesterday. If away fans were allowed into the stadium tomorrow, the one player who would have his name sung out the loudest, whether he starts or not, would have been Harry Maguire. And I am 100% sure of it. And you've been to the stadium, you've seen how the situations are there. You know that he would have got the loudest chance because that's
For
just
sure,
how United fans
dude.
are at the end, dude. Like, that's just how we are. It's not that. I mean, you and I, when we were doing our player ratings, I remember I said Harry Maguire A. And everyone here vilified me saying, how can you say A? It has to be A+.
How can you say? Yeah.
Right, remember that. And then from there now, suddenly after 3 bad performances, like, oh, what a joker, he doesn't did what 70 million, what a joker he is, he did that, deserves to be stripped of the captaincy, blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on, guys, back the players, I mean, we don't follow United as a job, right? We watch the team because we want to enjoy it. We enjoy football. We
Oh,
enjoy
man.
watching the team. So let's bring that joy back, dude. Let's bring that joy back in enjoying football and enjoying watching United play. I know the team needs to do that for us as well, but even as us, when we come away from games, let's go into the next game with positivity. Let's support our players. Let's sort of bring that mentality back rather than, oh no, you know what, this was good, but this could have been better, and he doesn't deserve this. And remember about 17 years ago what the other captain did.
Fair enough.
This is
fair
United
enough.
and
Fair
now
enough.
back them. Come on.
Karan, you are injecting some much needed optimism, some much needed sort of. I won't say you're revisiting the glory days and shit like that, but you're kind of just reminding us that, guys, you know what, it can be a lot worse. It's not as bad, and even when times are bad, we are not those people, right? We don't abandon ship. We very much stay with the ship. We sink with the ship, like we've always done all these years. And knowing Man United, this ship will never sink. And keep the faith, keep the trust in the manager. Now, Karan, you've said all of this, so therefore now I've got some
Of course.
kira in me, and I'm going to throw an absolute googly at you because I think it's the perfect question to ask you in this current scenario, right?
Yeah.
What do you make of the Paul Pogba guys? By the way, Karan is not the biggest fan of Paul Pogba. What do you make of this Paul Pogba situation, man? Because he's gone out and said, "I want to go join Real Madrid someday. It would be a dream." Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his presser says that Paul is very much our player. We're going to trigger his extension. Extension has been triggered. So he's going to be a United player for at least another year. Triggering an extension also means that he won't go for a free. We'll sell him for 100 million. Having said all of that, he was arguably one of the worst players on the pitch in that defeat to Spurs. He was laughing and gallivanting. Again, puts in a decent performance for France. What is going on with this guy, dude? What is happening?
I mean, dude, clearly he's a guy who's not settling. As you said, I've not been his biggest fan, and it's not because I have anything against him. It's just because when we think about what is the last time Paul Pogba put in a Manchester performance, you have to jog your memory. And the last I can think of was his cameo against Spurs right after lockdown, the first game after lockdown, right? This is the last thing that I can remember where he put in a great performance. My whole thing in this is, you know what, I'm not going to go out there and be like, dude, what are you doing? And you use that. I think, honestly, clearly, and I think Sunil has said this in his last live or something, somewhere he said it as well, it's clearly not working out. Just move on from it. You know, sometimes it doesn't happen. Obviously, a good friend of ours, Mr. Akshay Kumar, he keeps tagging us about Lukaku, right? About how Lukaku.
Not the Bollywood actor. He's a gent who's come on Football Pundits before, but go on.
He keeps saying about, Lukaku and how Lukaku's killing it at Inter. But clearly, towards the end, he wasn't working out for us. So, fine, move on. I think it's the same situation now with Paul Pogba. I think it's time that maybe he's not delivering his best. Maybe there's something more to it. Whatever it is, just move on. Better for the club, better for the player. But for now, we do have him, and I would still, before every game, I keep saying, you know what, I hope he performs. I hope this is the day where Paul Pogba marks it down, because he does have that somewhere in him. But clearly, we're sort of moving away from those days because we've been a long while since
True.
For now, I think Van de Beek deserves to start ahead of him. Obviously,
and the current injury system and the way we're setting up right now, I definitely think, and let's get into that. I definitely think Van de Beek will start, because just going by what Sumit also said earlier in the chat, it's very likely that we might actually see Rashford either play on the left. If not the left, he will play as the number 9, assuming Ighalo doesn't get a game. Daniel James looks poised to start on the right. If Greenwood plays in that number 9, there are positions available now suddenly just because of injuries and suspension, right? Martial not being there, Cavani not being available. It suddenly makes you wonder, could this be the game where we experiment with Donny van de Beek? But does that also mean we play two fullbacks in addition to 3 centre-backs? That's something I'm not a fan of, man. I don't want to see 5-3-2 again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big fan of that. And plus, the other thing is, it's easier said than done that, just change the formation like this and change it around like that and all. This is not FIFA at the end of the day. Players need to be gelling well in those positions. They need to have played together. They need to have pulled it off in training. A lot goes behind the scenes to make formations work. When you look at training programs, and I've luckily seen training programs for clubs, because of the work we've done, there's a lot that goes on in just static movement without the ball. They make players stand in positions. You have to move like this when this one is moving, blah, blah. So there's a lot that goes behind it, which is why I'm not sort of getting into too much about, this player position, or because I don't know what's gone on for 2 weeks on the training pitch. Yes, United need to have plan B, plan C, change things around, but we also need to, Martial's not there, Cavani is not there. So how do you implement these things? So I think all of that needs to be considered. All I'm going to say is, if you look just primarily on merit, Van de Beek deserves to start tomorrow. And he deserves to start tomorrow even if it's in place of Paul Pogba. I know there's another conversation there about, protecting Paul Pogba and, starting him so that sends the right message, not, triggering all the media. That will come if he's dropped. But at the end of the day, we're Man United. We start the 11 that's best for us. So Van de Beek has put in the performance that deserves it. Put it in, and Paul Pogba, then answer in the next game. Show that, I didn't deserve to be dropped, and here is why. That is the mentality that needs to be coming in. The players need to be fighting for that position, not that, because I'm Paul Pogba, I'll get to start every week.
I get to just walk into the starting lineup. Yeah. Point very well taken. Very well taken. And, I feel for you, man, because you've said this. This is not the first time you're saying this, right? You've always said, this is it, man. This is the game of reckoning for Paul Pogba. This is the game where we decide whether he starts the next. But it's just always been one of those things where by the time we get to the next game, it's like, how can you not play Paul Pogba? How can you not start Paul Pogba? And he ends up starting. So I completely agree, man. And I hope Donny van de Beek, sort of does more to prove to the manager and the fans that maybe he can replace a Paul Pogba if Paul Pogba is not at his best. Karan, I'm going to ask you one last question, man, and then everyone watching, I'm going to start accepting some requests again.
Yeah.
Karan, this is a bit deviated, but I think you are still very much in the heart of this topic, a topic that's hot and current right now with MUSCM and fans in general. And you opened with the fans, right? A very beautiful statement on fans. Karan, the fans matter. Whether you're sitting in India, whether you're sitting in Goa, whether you're sitting in Mauritius or Haiti, or even in Manchester, 5 minutes away from the stadium. A fan is a fan, and a fan matters, right? Whether you pay in pounds, whether you pay in rupees, it doesn't matter. You know, everything that has happened recently with the ex-president, and you're a part of the working team, with the ex-president resigning, because he was unhappy with the way that the club was being sort of running their affairs. He felt more like an agent. Adam McCullough has picked it up. Karan, I want to get your 2 cents on the entire matter, man, because I know that from you, I'll get a diplomatic and I'll get a very sort of reasonable, I won't get a very emotional sort of assessment from you. I know that. I'll get a very pragmatic assessment. So what do you make of the entire incident, man? It's something I've been wanting to pick your brains on live chat.
Yeah, man. So obviously, the reason football exists is because of fans, right? I mean, I was having a discussion with someone the other day, and they mentioned something that was really beautiful. They're like, the excitement from football doesn't come from what Paul Pogba does on the field or what Martial does on the field. It's from what the fans bring, right? There's no excitement if there's no fan reaction, the fan emotion. Fans need to be on the forefront of things. Where Sunil is coming from, I completely understand, man. And, I think it's been the last straw on the camel's back. It's not been like just one thing that's made him go down that. I think it's more about the straw on the camel's back. And lots of us are feeling it. I feel it as well, that it's so obvious to so many of us that the changes that need to be made in the club, but they're not being made. Why they're not being made? We as fans deserve better and all of that, right?
Yeah.
And we've all heard, Sunil's side of it and individually, and why. I'm just going to say something from the supporters club side of it, as MUSCM, as the official supporters club, why we had to go to that step to sort of keep, to having Sunil do it individually as such and not the supporters club itself put on the streets. It's because of the fans. Sunil and so many others, including you, including me, Shan, Sahil, me, like everyone and the people who are Shrikant, all these guys, right? We worked for 15 years to bring the supporters club to where it is now, so that the fans in Bombay can have these experiences. So that the fan in Bombay can get a face value ticket at Old Trafford through us. So for us, all of that matters.
So that a fan can come meet Nemanja Vidic when Nemanja Vidic comes to Bombay. So a fan can come and enjoy a Manchester United match at 2 in the morning when no other place would show it, when he probably can't even watch it at home because there is only one telly where probably his parents speak. It's so much more, right? It's so much more, man. Yeah,
exactly.
Go on.
So having added all of that, right? If we do go out and sort of go a very completely anti-Glazer or anti-Woodward stance or whatever, unfortunately, the club is at such a position where we do see that a supporters club might be then banned from certain, perks that we enjoy. Whether it's right or wrong, everything's a whole other discussion. Honestly, it shouldn't be because, we're a supporters club, we're a fans voice. But the reality is right now we are in that situation. So we just want what's best for our fans, for our supporters in Mumbai. So we're going to continue from the official status, and that's why we're sort of still running everything, because we want to bring what's best for the fans in India. That's what's there. And it's not like if Sunil is left, has he really left? You and I both know, all of us know that Sunil is MUSCM, man. It's not like we've parted with it, but it's just a way for us to sort of support him and him sort of to be able to do this while MUSCM can still represent the fans. But yeah, fans always come first. Man, you and I are fans, dude. Who are we? We're just fans. Honestly, we're nothing else. And the fact that we're so passionate about this just shows why fans matter. The club doesn't exist without fans. There's no money in this without fans. There's nothing. So I think, fans are the center of it. And if anyone had doubts as to why MUSCM is not going down this road, it's because of fans, and it's because we want to keep adding to the experiences for fans.
Guys, all I'm going to say is, because I don't want to add even a word to what Karan said because he's put it so beautifully, I want to see the chat box filled with hearts for Karan. Give me those hearts, dude. Keep those hearts going for Karan and Football Pundits, because I think that was beautifully put, Karan. And it's a pleasure to have you back on MUSCM Live. For those of you watching, the next couple of MUSCM Lives hopefully will be done exclusively by Karan, because I am taking a leave of absence for personal reasons. very soon.
Ready to be.
Uh,
Dude,
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
So
fans, man. We're gonna have the littlest United fan join us soon, dude. I mean, amongst the family. So I think all these hearts to be shared with the littlest United fan who's gonna join us.
for sure, man. Karan, absolutely love you, man. You take care of yourself, take care of your nephew,
You too,
and
good
we'll
sir.
catch you on the next one.
Yep. See you guys. Cheers.
So, guys, that was Karan Rateria from the Football Pundits.
If you aren't following the Football Pundits, do subscribe to that channel. Some kick-ass football content. For those of you watching and playing FPL, they do some insane FPL videos as well. So do watch that. Stretford Way, special shout out to you for saying Jesse, Gunnar, Ayer. Thank you for that. My wife will be very happy because she's a big fan of Jesse Lingard. But that's assuming we do have a boy. If it's a girl, give me another name as well. I'll be happy to sort of accept that. All right, let's get the next one on. The next person I'm bringing on, let's talk about the new signings. Let's talk about Facundo. Let's talk about Telles. How many of us think Telles might actually start? Kern doesn't think so. Kern said that, he's been traveling and blah, 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 and hasn't really had time to spend with the squad. But if we were to play the diamond, very likely that we need to play Telles, because then what would effectively happen is we bring Luke Shaw, Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelof / Maguire as centre back. We play Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right, and we play Luke Shaw on the left. Sorry, we play Alex Telles on the left. I personally am excited to see Alex Telles play, man. So if we can get Telles, I think it would be awesome, because I'm excited to see him play. Simple as that, right? Let's continue this conversation. What I want to know with the next person is what the scene is going to be with regards to playing a 3-5-2 and the diamond at the back. A lot of first timers sending me requests. I love to see that. Welcome to MUSCM Live, guys, once again. Pranay Krishnan, if you are watching, Pranay, I have accepted your request. Welcome to MUSCM Live. To accept, well, rather, I have accepted. I hope you're able to connect.
And okay, you have been able to connect. Fantastic. Pranay, hi. Can you hear me and can you see me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I think it's buffering a little. Just a second. Yeah, is it better
No worries,
now?
no worries.
I can't hear you. Hello.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but I can't see the video live. But that's okay, I think, as long as we can hear.
Okay. Chat, can you let us know if you can see Pranay? Just give me a quick thumbs up if you can see Pranay and if the video is okay for you. We'll just wait for a second, Pranay. Unfortunately, if I can't really see you or if the video is bad, we'll have to cut because we upload this on YouTube and, it won't really look good. People will disconnect. So I'll just wait for a couple of people to just confirm that it's fine. Okay, Pranay, we're good, man. We're good. Pranay, welcome to MUSCM Live, buddy. How are you doing?
Yeah, I think it's better now. I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yeah, so let's just go with the audio, man. Don't worry about it. How are you doing?
Cool.
Since when have you been a fan? How did you come to know of MUSC Mumbai? And then I'll go on to the rest of the conversation.
Oh man, so okay, a United fan getting to 20 years approximately now. Started by watching the 1999 final, Champions League final. I was a kid then, though.
Nice.
Got introduced to football because of my uncle, who was the AC Milan fan, the old AC Milan, right? With Franco Baresi and
Inzaghi, Pirlo, Nesta,
much older, dude. That was during when I was watching football. I'm talking about the Franco Baresi times.
Oh, Baresi and co. Oh my God, that's hardcore, dude.
Oh, man,
Go on. How was your uncle a fan of Milan, dude? Was he living there? How would he follow back in the day, man?
Yeah,
no internet and all that.
I think he did have some Italian friends from his work.
Okay.
Right, and so anyways, so my yeah, so he got me into football. I think I started playing football when I was junior KG, I guess. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long time.
Good stuff.
1999 final. Yeah, that's what got me to being a United fan.
And how did you come to know of MUSC Mumbai?
So I have been okay. So I'm friends with a lot of mutual friends that we have in terms of Prashant and Mihir and people. Right. Also been a part of MUSC Navi Mumbai for some time.
Okay, so you know Mihir very well, and that.
Yes. Yeah. The entire gang there, right? So never been a part of MUSC Mumbai as such, but yeah, I was looking forward to that in 2020. Maybe even with an OUM.
I have been for a screening at Three Wise Monkeys Navi Mumbai as well, so that's a thappa I wear very proudly.
I've been able to manage some of them with them though. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Anyway,
Good stuff,
so,
man. Let's get
yeah.
in. Let's get back into the conversation, Pranay. I want to know from you, man. So, are you a fan of this diamond? And therefore, if you're a fan of this diamond against Newcastle, do we play the 3-5-2? Sorry, do we play the 5-3-2 or the 3-5-2? It's how you see it. Do we play three centre halves? Do we play two full backs? Do we play Van der Beek, Pogba, Bruno? What do you make, man? What's the new structure at United going to be?
Well, see, definitely, you know what, the 4-4-2 isn't like the 4-4-2, the 4-3-3, you know, the interchangeable play that we try and do isn't going to really work at this point in time with the players that we have, unless we're of course playing with a Rashford and a Martial with a Cavani, right? Then it makes sense because then you have two fullbacks, you have two wingers, and then you can start putting the crosses inside, and you have somebody coming in and going out. Right, but assuming that we're going to only be playing with one centre forward, now be that Cavani or Martial, I still feel Martial shouldn't be playing centre forward, and he's best playing on the left. Rashford playing somewhere in the centre or on the right, and then Cavani.
What's it? Martial. Did you say Rashford or Martial? Sorry, I heard Martial, and Martial suspended. He's not going to play against Newcastle.
No. Okay, not against Newcastle, but generally. But against Newcastle, I definitely think we need a three at the back. I need a three at the back.
Okay.
Right. So we have Bailly, Lindelof. We only have those two guys as centre forwards. But I'll be excited to see Shaw play as a centre forward. And if not Shaw, then big call McTominay. He did that. He did that in the international match right now.
One sec. Okay.
So
Shaw
back three. No. Centre back.
Centre back. Yeah.
Yeah, so the back three, you have Bailly, Lindelof, and then...
Okay, so you're also saying Maguire, drop Maguire. Very cool. Okay.
Yeah, I just think that, there was this article that I was reading, okay, and, and also, again, the whole Rio Ferdinand thing. I think that's very important for Maguire.
He needs a rest.
That guy's been under a lot of focus. I mean, for non-footballing reasons as well. Right?
Sure.
Maybe he just needs to take a break, go get back to basics. Work it on the ground, get those few tackles and get his confidence back, and then come back slowly, right? He isn't going anywhere. I mean, it might be controversial, but we don't have the best of centre backs, and given what we have, he's still one of the better ones, right? I would say he's one of the better ones in terms of fitness as well, right? Because Bailly, we know he can't play for nuts in the entire season, right? So. We need him, and there's going to be a lot of games. So it's okay if he comes back in time, and by that time we'll also be able to figure out what backups we have, right? What I'm curious about is, see, if you have Bailly and Lindelof at the back, right? You have two centre backs, and then you give a McTominay a third centre back role. Yeah. That guy isn't a defensive midfielder, right? He isn't a defensive midfielder. He cannot perform.
People in fact say that McTominay is more of a Pogba replacement, if anything. They don't put him in the Matic bracket, although I personally would love to see McTominay flourish in that Matic replacement role, because that's a role for the taking, right? Matic hasn't been replaced in the summer. Matic is aging. He is someone who's not going to play more than 2 or 3 seasons more at the very best for United, right? So I still feel McTominay should fit in there, but clearly he doesn't suit that style, man. He's not that kind of a player.
He doesn't.
We saw it against Spurs. Yeah.
With McTominay, it's very simple, right? Sir Alex Ferguson played Jason Park and Fletcher in two specific roles. They were they're at the center, run forward, run behind, run forward, run behind. It's just that you need to do, right? And McTominay fits well for that role. But for that role to be played, he needs somebody who's defensively minded, who can sit just above the centre backs and create that flow. Right, so that's what I see McTominay. So in that case, I feel McTominay will be good in terms of just ensuring that there's flow coming in from the back into the midfield, which is what I feel we are right to do with the central defenders, and that's causing us to leak goals. Right, so 5-3-2, 3-5-2 is what I see, going with Bissaka and Telles on the left and the right.
Fantastic. Very ideal, man, because even I want to see that, but there's word that Telles may not start. Anyway, it's 10:45. I'm going to bring on the next guy, but before I let you go, Pranay, what are your predictions for this game, man, if I may dare to ask?
I definitely think we'll win the game, but we'll leak a goal, so 2-1.
Okay, we'll leak a goal, but we'll win 2-1, says Pranay. Pranay, thanks so much for joining us on MUSAM Live, buddy. I hope you enjoyed your first stint on MUSCM Live. We'll see you on the next one. Guys, let's keep the video
going. I'm not going to buck too much because I want to get a lot of y'all on. All right, Akshit. Akshit is someone who has come before several times. Akshit is also someone who messaged me just before the Insta Live. That's not a trigger for you all to start doing that, because please avoid messaging me before
for the Insta Live because I am preparing. But Akshit clearly had something to say. So I'm happy to bring Akshit on. Guys, there is clearly an issue with my phone because any guest I add, I'm not able to watch the video. I'm just seeing a buffer signal. So if Akshit is clear, or if there is a problem with Akshit's video or my video, please let us know in the chat. Accordingly, I'll disconnect. Otherwise, Akshit, how are you doing? I'm not going to ask you a question, man, because you had something to share. There's a lot on your mind. What is it, man? Let us know.
No, nothing. I think we shouldn't go. First thing I would say is we shouldn't play three at the back against Newcastle, especially because I mean it's Newcastle, and I don't think we have the players to play in that kind of system. I mean, if we played it with against City and those lot, I think.
So then what is the solution, man? You're saying we continue unchanged? Because a lot of United fans, by the way, a lot of people, a lot of fans, Pranay, if you're still watching, a lot of people didn't agree with you when you said McTominay can play at centre back. So you got a bit of flack for that, and I understand why. But actually, if you're saying we don't play three at the back, you're saying we continue with a 4-2-3-1 essentially, right? And
I think the problem with playing three at the back is, I mean, it works against teams who are going to attack us, and then we can hit them on the break. But especially when we play Newcastle, we know Newcastle are going to sit with 10 man, 11 men behind the ball, and let us have the ball. And I think with 3-5-2, our wing backs, first thing you need is the width with the wing backs, and I think we lack that. We know, especially with AVB and Luke Shaw going forward, they are not that good. So. Those are I think those two positions are the most important positions in a three at the back system. Your wing backs provide you the attacking impetus and the width of the game. So I think that is one problem I see with playing three at the back. Honestly, we should probably go with 4-4-2 because 4-4-2 with a diamond, because right now with Martial injured, Martial suspended, and Donny van de Beek probably is he's in a great bit of form, and I think he should definitely get a start no matter what.
Akshit, my only question to you is going to be, and chat, I want to know what you guys think of this, but I feel Fred is so underrated, man. I think Fred would thrive in a Newcastle away kind of in a fixture where we play Newcastle away, where we play the diamond or we don't play the diamond, but we play Fred instead of either Pogba, Van de Beek, so that we have a slightly more defensive approach. We have a Matic and a Fred to shield. Fred is someone who can sort of retrieve the ball, cut those lines, get in between, do a bit of the donkey's work, as it were. And then you have a Pogba and a Bruno who will just unlock defenses, and you have a Rashford, Greenwood who will go score. Why are people not talking about Fred enough? Because I've always kept Fred as the player for United when we A, up in terrible form, and B, when we're playing Newcastle away, who are in form.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I don't know if you remember, but even on the last live I came on,
you spoke up on
so I made that point. But I think Fred is definitely a great player, and the best part about him, what I like about him over Matic is his passing between the lines. I think that is what we like, because when we play, we are very static in terms of the moment in front of the midfielders. And that's why there is no kind of creativity. So I think if we play Van de Beek, because Van de Beek is that type of player who will get in between those defense and the midfield for the opponents, and in the tight spaces, and he can play that 1-2 with the attackers, or he can just lay off the ball from. And I think exactly that is what our team lacks currently in terms of attacking, because when teams sit in very deep, we are not able to break them down. It's only because of this, because our front three, I would say, lacks movements little somewhat, I would say, because they're very static. I would say they are good with ball at their feet and driving at players. But in terms of moments, they lack a bit in that. So I think Donny van de Beek playing in there, and we have Fred behind who's ready to play those balls in between the lines. That would be probably a good approach, especially against Newcastle. And I mean,
by the way, we absolutely demolished Kolkata Knight Riders once again, so that's good news for Mumbai United fans. I've put a question on the screen, Akshit. I don't know if it's reflecting or not properly, but Pratik Rilan has an interesting question. And I say interesting because I think it's a controversial question. Do you think Bruno Pogba are interchangeable? Do you think the number 8 and number 10 roles are not number 8, the number 6 and the number 10 roles
Yeah.
are interchangeable to a large extent?
I mean, it could work, but I think the best way to play them both is probably in a 4-4-3, wherein you have a Matic or some CDM who's playing deep, and uh, Bruno and Pogba, Pogba playing on the left and Bruno on the right. Somewhat what
Okay.
Portugal played, like even as I was watching the Portugal game in the
Yeah,
international break,
yeah.
and Bruno kind of played that in that 4-3-3, and he was playing off the right, more on the right hand side of the wing, and on the right side of the midfield, not in that advanced 10 position he usually plays. I think that could be the best way to get the best out of both. Because we can clearly see that Pogba behind is not like working out that well so far. I mean, after post lockdown
Yeah.
it did, but I think right now kind of teams have found out the way we are playing. So, and that's why it's getting difficult for us to break teams
Yeah.
down and easy for them
I
to
have a
come at us.
question for you, man, because you are obviously the Fred fan and so am I. And I love
Yeah.
this question because it just triggered something in my mind, right? The question is from Bhavya Trivedi, who
Yeah, I
asked,
can see.
or who rather comments, saying Fred mostly played as a center attacking midfielder in his previous club. But since we lost Ander for free, do you think Fred can replace him and play as the machine in midfield and mark players just like Ander? You know what? That is so true, man. When Fred was at Shakhtar, I remember he was a goal-scoring midfielder. He was an attacking midfielder. Even when Mourinho brought him in, even in the games that Fred would play, Fred was not a deep, even under Mourinho's system, he was actually a fairly advanced midfielder. So now this begs the question, are we just not using Fred correctly? Are we just doing what we're trying to do with McTominay with Fred, which is force fit him into a position that he truly doesn't belong to?
But see, that's the problem Ole has, because right now, if you talk about the number 10 position, we have 3 players who are far ahead of Fred right now in terms of number 10. We have Van der Beek, we have Bruno and Pogba. We have 3 players who can play in that position who are definitely better than Fred. And so I think that's why Fred probably has to adjust to his game a little bit and play more of on the defensive side. And I think that's why he's been struggling, because naturally that's not his game. We can see that we are trying to mold him into kind of a Ander Herrera player who just who's tight on the players, who plays good passes between the lines, and is very he chases down the ball basically when opposition has it, and that's what I like about him. He's at your feet even when like you lose the ball. He'll leave a slight kick about. He'll leave a kick on you. So I think we need that nastiness kind of a player in the team, and he definitely is that for us right now. So I'm not so sure about playing him advanced, because I mean, if he doesn't do well, we have kind of a good 3 players to play in that position.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be that
True.
certain about playing in the number 10. But I think he does a good, he does a good job as a pass breaker and playing in between the lines, kind of like a Matic role.
Fair enough, Akshit. And final question to you, man. What do you make of tomorrow's game? Do you think we're going to come off with 3 points, or do you think it's just going to be a well-fought draw away at St. James at Sports Direct Arena? What do you make?
Honestly, people kind of forget, but Newcastle are in like amazing form. They
Mad form, dude. Mad form. In fact, I'm
I
just
think this
googling
is-
their current their position on the table.
I think it is the best Newcastle team I've seen since they got relegated, like since they've come up again. I think this is their best team, and the way they're playing, it's pretty
They're
good.
9th with 1 defeat in 4 games, 2 wins and 1 draw. Yeah.
And they have Joe Linton, and they have this Alan Saint Maximum guy. I'm a huge fan of him, man. He can. I'm worried actually of him playing against our defense, because he can run rings around our defenders, honestly, because his pace is just too good. But yeah, I think it'll be a nervy game, because obviously with what we are coming on with and with the international break, it'll be because a lot of teams played on Wednesday, so the players didn't come in pretty early. So I think it'll be like kind of a nervy game, and
Fair enough.
we'll nick it 2-1. That's what I feel.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Akshit, once again, thank you so much for joining us. One tip to you, man, because I know you're going to be a regular on this show. Next time when you join us, just keep your phone on like a platform, so that it doesn't move too much. It just makes it easier for everyone else watching. People like me who have motion sickness. Sometimes it can get a little. But anyway, fantastic insights as always, man. Thank you so much for joining
And
us.
congratulations
We are
in
going to
advance
be.
for you.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to catch you on the next one, Akshit. So, guys, tomorrow, as you're probably aware,
we're going to be doing an MUSCM live just before kickoff. Kickoff though is at midnight. It's at 12:30 in the morning. So we're going to be doing an MUSCM live tomorrow at 11:30 as soon as the lineups are out, because obviously once the lineups are out, there's a lot that we need to talk about, right? We're going to be dissecting the lineups. We're going to be dissecting Newcastle's lineups, and obviously the way that Ollie is going to set us up tomorrow will also speak volumes of his tactics and the way that he's going to sort of and you know what to really take from the game. If you genuinely think we're going to play a 3-5-2 or a 4-2-3-1, you know, I'd be disappointed if we continue with a 4-2-3-1. I think change is needed. I think that this is the time where Ollie needs to say that, you know what, I need to chop and change. It's a perfect opportunity as well, right? Because a lot of players are not available. It's a good opportunity to rest a few players. Maguire, he can actually, and going by his press conference, right, where he said, you know what, Maguire always wants to play, but I'm going to use this opportunity to sort of rest him. I think it's a good opportunity to change the system a bit. Maybe not in terms of a formation, but in terms of personnel. I think Donny van de Beek, Paul Pogba and
Bruno should definitely start tomorrow, man. I think that could do
wonders for this team. Anyway, guys, that was your MUSCM Live. Ollie's redemption was the topic. I'd like to believe that a lot of us watching this chat and a lot of us as United fans across the world believe in Ollie. We know he can make it happen, guys. Ollie has shown us happiness like never before, right? At least since the Ferguson days. I believe in this manager. I think he's a very, very special guy. According to me, not only is he a fantastic manager, he's a pretty decent tactician, but he's also off the United fabric. He's a cut off the United fabric. So I think he ticks a lot of boxes. Remember, we've only lost 2 Premier League games since Bruno Fernandes has joined. Bruno Fernandes joined us almost 11 months ago. We've lost only 2 Premier League games. Keep that in your mind. I think there is a lot of optimism in that comment. It's a factual comment. It's a great fact. Live by that, guys. We are going to win tomorrow, hopefully. And I will see all of y'all tomorrow for the pre-match preview. For the pre-match preview. I'm going to see you on the pre-match preview tomorrow. For those of you who I couldn't bring on today, I'm really sorry, but I know that I will be able to bring you on tomorrow in the pre-match review. So keep those video requests coming through. Banker Baba, I'll see you tomorrow. Shivale, I will see you tomorrow. There you go. 2 people already confirmed. Aniket276, thank you for the Goldbridge comment, and I will see all of you all very soon. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good night's rest. Have a good night's sleep. Tomorrow, we're back to Premier League action. Don't forget to change your FPL teams. There's a deadline at 3 o'clock. For those of you who want FPL tips, log on to Football Pundits, the official fan channel partner. It's Football Pundits on YouTube. They have some kick-ass FPL videos on there as well, so you can get your tips over there. Alright, on behalf of MUSCM, my name is Abhishek Iyer. You can follow me on social media as well. I'm Iyer the Terrible. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Cheers, have a good time. Bye-bye.